Alright, we're back. So this is our last video. You are welcome. So we're looking at the end of World War II. Alright, so turning the tide. Really, the tide turns when America gets involved. Alright, so we're going to be fighting in 3 different theaters. Alright, We're going to be fighting in Russia. We're going to be fighting in the Pacific. And then we're going to be fighting in Western Europe. Alright, so Russia. The first one, the main battle in Russia is Stalingrad. Alright, so this is why Russia loses so many people, because women, men, children, citizens, like, they are going to all help out. Everyone is going to pitch in, and they're fighting in their homes. You see in this picture right here, like, that's somebody's home right there, right? They are hiding behind debris. Like, that is real life for them. Alright, Italy's going to be forced out of the war in 1943. So Italy is out, so that's one off of the axis, right? One off of the axis. France is going to be fighting a 2-front war. All right, they're going to be fighting when we're looking at D-Day, the beaches of Normandy, but then they're also going to be fighting on the other side. So June 6, 1944, you don't necessarily need to know the date, but you do need to know that it is D-Day. You need to know what D-Day is. D-Day is this picture right here. So we're going to storm the beaches of Normandy in 3 ways. So we're going to storm by air, land, and sea. All right. So this picture is from the perspective of someone getting off the boat. And you did not want to be one of these first people off the boat, because once somebody realizes what is happening, you're probably going to be one of the first ones that's going to be killed. All right. Because of storming the beaches, we were able to open up the southern France border and drive out the Germans. So by the end of 1944, the Allied powers are able to regain much of what Hitler had taken in the early years. We saw that through that interactive map the other day, so we knew that Hitler had taken over pretty much all of Europe. But now we're starting to take it back. And when I say we, I mean the Allied powers. All right. Germans were overextended. They had no more allies since Italy's out, right? And so because of that, we're going to have May the 8th, VE Day. So D-Day, I'll tell you the D stands for nothing, but VE stands for Victory in Europe Day. All right, so Victory in Europe Day. This is a big deal, but it doesn't mean we're done with World War II, because we initially went and fought against Japan, and so that too we're going to have to continue to go fight. All right, so the war in the Pacific, it's going to have to happen after VE Day. We're going to go into Iwo Jima. All right, we're going to go to Iwo Jima and Okinawa. All right, Iwo Jima and Okinawa. All right, we're also going to fight a big battle in Midway. We're going to fight Japan in a big battle in Midway. Actually, Japan was about to win because we couldn't find their ships. We couldn't find them. And then we took one turn, and there were their ships. And so we kind of took that battle. But all of these battles, we're going to start island hopping from one to the next. And we're going to be fighting against Japan in all of these things. All right. So this is a picture hopefully you've seen before. This is them putting the flag up on Iwo Jima. That is what Iwo Jima normally looks like. Pretty gorgeous. These guys down here, the kamikaze pilots. So if we look at this picture, why did kamikaze pilots wear helmets? Obviously, kamikaze pilot is going to get in their plane, and they're going to their suicide mission. So it is a legit question as to why they're wearing helmets. Why would that be a real thing? I'm not sure. But what is crazy is Americans thought these kamikaze pilots, when they pulled them out of their planes, they'd be like foaming at the mouth or something like that. But the Japanese were just extremely faithful and extremely loyal. That's what they were going to do. They were going to win at all costs, even if that meant that they were going to have to die themselves. All right. So by the time Germany surrendered, all right, in 1945, we had a weapon, and I think you know what the weapon is. It's called the atomic bomb. All right, you do need to know the name of the project. It's called the Manhattan Project. This is a picture of Oak Ridge back in the day. Oak Ridge was one of the sites where they developed the atomic bomb. So they developed it in Oak Ridge, Tennessee, and Los Alamos, New Mexico. It cost $2 million, and it was a secret. Not even the President of the United States knew that they were building this until they built it. This guy is Robert Oppenheimer. He's the guy who developed it. All right. So Truman had a decision, because why is it Truman? Well, what had happened was FDR died in 45. All right. So FDR died. Truman is his VP, so Truman steps in. So he has to decide whether to drop the bomb or not. So he is going to drop the first atomic bomb when Japan refuses to surrender on Hiroshima, which has 50,000 people. So not a big city, on August 6th. So after they drop the bomb, they're like, hey, we've got this huge bomb. This is what's going to happen. And the bombs were called Fat Man and Little Boy. So we have this huge bomb. Hey, if you don't surrender, we're going to drop another one. So guess what? They didn't surrender. So they dropped another one on Nagasaki with 120,000 people. Right? So two bombs in 3 days. Their next target was Tokyo, which would be obviously more civilian casualties. And Japan actually surrendered on August 15th, 1945. All right. So we have the end of World War II. It was fought on 6 continents. It did cost 50 million total lives. The Holocaust obviously was a huge part of that. Nearly 6 million Jews died in the Holocaust. We knew, when I say we, I mean America knew of the Holocaust as early as 42. But our government refused to help or accept Jewish refugees. So kind of looks a little similar to what we might be doing right now with Syrian refugees. I don't know. That's just me. But after the war was over, the Allies did assist Jews in rebuilding their lives. All right. So at first we weren't going to, because we were in the middle of the war. But after the war, we did assist Jews in help rebuilding their lives. So that was a lot of information. This is a picture of what it looks like, right? And this is kind of the decimation of a house, the atomic bomb. We didn't have very much research on what it does to people, so that's not going to turn out to be a good thing. Kind of like, well, you heard Dr. Olson talk about Vietnam and everything that we use there and how it's still affecting people today, Agent Orange. This atomic bomb and the radiation is going to be affecting people for a long time. So you have one more interaction. So that's 3 interactions for the day. You need to not only have an interaction, so we'll write it there. So you need an interaction for a total of 3 today. You also need to go ahead and write your summary. Your summary, you should be answering that question. You're welcome for the scribbling on the video. All right, 3 interactions in total today, 1 summary. We are good to go.